To bring up something that's going to offend a lot of people. I have a friend. His name is Mari. Mari is Jewish. He's a successful Jewish banker. He lives in New York. And I've known Mari for over a decade. We've done business together. Good guy, respectable guy. He revealed to me, and I did the diligence on it. And this was one of the most shocking things that I ever realized in the world of business. And I have had moments in which I have actually considered bringing on a Semite into my team so I can take advantage of this financial opportunity. The financial opportunity is this. If you are a Semite, you can get zero interest loans at banks anywhere in America. You just have to tell them. They will go to the back. They will show you, they will bring out a folder, a PDF of how you, as a Semite, can get a loan for your house, a car, extraneous things that you need, a boat, a business, for zero interest.
Really?
Look it up. I was Mari. When Mari told me this.
Hey, Kadash giving all praises to you. How about Hashem? How Shai Hashem Kadash? This is deep. This is real deep. Not sure what I would name it, but I want to go into a lot of different aspects and some of my own experiences with this topic. Now, I've been in the truth since I came in the truth around 2017, the end of 2017, like September, October area of 2017. So I've been in the truth 7 years, over 7 years now. You know, one of my very first videos was actually on this topic. So we, just even speaking for myself, for years and years now, we've been exposing this truth of the things that he just said. But, you know, now they're coming around to exposing the same thing. But you see, when we have it, they call it conspiracies, this and that. But now that other people are coming, you know, I guess they went viral off this video right here. You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny to see, you know, because when the so-called blacks, when we was coming, it was just, oh, you guys are mad about slavery still. You're mad about this and that. You're just bitter, making up conspiracies. But now you see Asians, you know, and you know what the Bible speaks about, Moab, pretty much, I believe it's in Jeremiah, speaks about how he was like untouched, like in a major way, like kind of like the transatlantic slave trade. You know, we went through that. Other people groups went through some very horrific things too, but Moab's been kind of, that's what they're talking about, you know. But now that the Asians they're coming out also speaking about, and I'm not sure if they're Japanese, then, you know, they went through the whole bomb being dropped on them and stuff like that. But, you know, now they're coming out with this same truth, but it's just showing, you know, people of different ethnicities are coming, like they didn't go through a transatlantic slave trade to America. You see what I'm saying? So you could try to use that excuse for when we come out with things and say, oh, it's because you're bitter because of slavery. But now when other groups are coming out, and now he's not even saying he heard this online or he heard this from this research. He's saying he has a friend. This is a direct event that happened in his life. He's saying he has a friend, and he said that he went and searched it and seen that it was true himself. You see what I'm saying? Now, me, I had my own business. You know, it was a successful business for the time. You know what I mean? But everything goes up and comes down, but it definitely was successful. You know, I was basically, all my financials, I was living completely off my business. Like, I didn't have a boss. I didn't have no other thing that I had to do to make income. And it was a luxury lifestyle just off my business. So I was able to do that. But I got to the point in business, I'm just being honest and transparent to you. So I got to the point in business, it's like a door. It's like a level, right? Like a pyramid. I put up a video with a pyramid, the different levels of the pyramid on my page. You could go check that out, right? And I was at the top of my level, basically about to open the door to the next level, which some would call like rich or upper class. I was like right there, luxury, living a life, but I just needed this one door open for me, and I was going to take off basically to being a multi-millionaire. So that's where I'm at. And what I ran into, the problem that I ran into now, is when I build a successful business, you're technically supposed to be able to go to the bank and you get something called a SBA loan, or there's different type of loans that you can get, which are business loans. So you build a business, it's been running successfully for years. You got bank statements, you got credit, you got business credit, you got everything that you could show that proves this is a legitimate business that's been running, that's been a service to the community, that's actually been successful, right? Then, and what you're supposed to do, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to get, they might give you an SBA loan for, I think the highest the SBA loan could go, I think it's either $5 or $7 million. And there's people that's getting it, but not a lot of people that look like the Israelites, so-called blacks and Latinos, blacks and browns, So now you're supposed to get that business loan, whether it be $500K, $1 million, and that's supposed to take your business from that level that my business was on, opening that next door and taking your business to $1 million business, where, because you got this money, now you could get more inventory, or you could have expansion. That's what the SBA loans is for. Inventory, expansion, real estate, if you want to buy more buildings, or marketing, if you want to put more money into marketing, or employees, if you want to hire more employees. This is all things to grow your business, and you get this money, which is backed by the government. But the problem is you can't go directly to the government to get it. So now you have to go to this bank. So the government has guidelines what it takes for you to get this loan. But then the bank has extra guidelines for them to give you the loan. It's the loan is still there from you, for the government, but that bank could deny you because you meet the qualifications of the government, which I never agreed with this, but that's how they do it. But you don't meet our requirements, or we just don't want to give it to you, so therefore we're gonna pass on you. So then you gotta shop around. But then when you see that door keeps getting closed, like me, I tried like 5 times with 5 different lenders, and that door kept getting closed. It makes you just pretty much want to give up. Like, damn, I didn't try it this way. I didn't try it this way. I didn't try to have somebody prepare this for me and send it, and that guy failed. I tried to go through my personal bank that I'm bringing all this money through monthly. I'm trying to go through this bank. They deny me. Okay, now I'm trying to go through this credit union. They deny me. You see what I'm saying? Or this bank that I've been with for 15 years, they deny me. You see what I'm saying? So it makes you give up. And then you see it. Then it hits you in business. You say, damn, I see it. So the businesses that are getting ahead, there'll be $1 million businesses. Well, they're getting these doors open for them. It's not just about how hard you work, or you work your way up. You pull yourself up by the bootstrap. It's not that. That's not the game. The game is building a business where you could go and get a loan. I don't care if it's real estate, even in the stock market, they got companies where they'll give you an account and you could trade that money they're giving you, like credit. You could trade that on your account to make more money. In real estate, you have to deal with banks. So no matter where you go, this is how they got it set up. In order for you to, I don't care if it's a rap. If you sign a record deal, all that is the record label is going to the bank, and they getting the money from their lenders, private lenders, or the banks, and they're getting that money for you, and then they're giving it to you, and then you have to pay them back, and then they got to pay whoever back they got the money from. That's all. They don't just have the money sitting in an office somewhere. It's at a bank. It's at the banks. You see what I'm saying? So then I realized, oh wait, that's the ceiling. It's the banks. The game is to build something and be able to go to the banks and get funding and get money, get loans. That's the game. That's how you get higher and higher on levels, right? But when those doors are being shut, or they're making those doors extremely hard, then what's the next way to get to the level? Which, bingo, goes back to what this video is about. You have to get somebody that's on that level that could open that door for you and let you into the party. And the higher and higher you climb onto those levels, shit kind of gets weird. Shit starts to become Satanist. Shit starts to be, you got to do this to get to this level. You got to do this and that. You got to go to this type of party. You got to meet me here. You got to do this favor for me in order for you to get to those next levels. You see what I'm saying? So that's when I realized, okay, with your values and our understanding of the Bible, and you want to be a man of the Lord, you're not going to get to those levels, and you just have to be cool with that, honest with yourself, accept it, live a basic life that you can afford, but still have joy and fun, and be content with that. Because in order for you to get to those other levels, you are going to have to sell out, and you're gonna have to make some compromises that's gonna go against your truth, the truth. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you see a lot of the men in the Bible, not all of them, because there were rich men, there were men of the Lord too. But you had a lot of them, right, were poor men. And then Moses, what Moses had to do is he had to give up that and come dwell with his people. You see what I'm saying? He couldn't be the Egyptians, Pharaoh's grandson, and at the same time, the leader of Israel during that time. He had to make a choice. He had to give that up. You see what I'm saying? So when you understand, Moses doing the same thing we're doing this time, it's easy to give it up when you understand the whole situation. You understand, you start to worship money, you know that you need money. But when you understand what money is, and you understand that this money belongs to those rich banker families, no matter how much you get, it still belongs to them. And this is just their system. It makes it easier for you to say, you know what, fuck that shit. Fuck that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm going to focus on the Lord. You see what I'm saying? That goes to Matthew 6. Stack your riches up in heaven. You see what I'm saying? Because that's that money. Their money, they could take it from you. They could do it. They could devalue it at any time. You know what I mean? You got to stack it up at a spiritual bank. So that what he's saying, I never knew it for being that deep. I didn't know it was like that. I knew it was definitely going into the law, right? And I knew it was definitely some funny stuff going on behind, some unequal things going on behind the scenes, of course. Even just between the so-called black man and the white man, there's unequal stuff going on behind the scenes. So, but even more when you get to talking about the small hats. So now he's saying they could go in the bank, right, and get no interest loans, right? Which this goes into the law usury, which I have it in front of me in Deuteronomy 23. But for your car, right? Just imagine how small your payment is when you have a 0% interest rate. Your house, they probably ain't got to put no down payments. If you're gonna do it that way, then you might as well not let them put no down. But what's a down payment for, right? And most importantly, your businesses, right? So if you're a member of the small hat community, the Israelis, how much more is it going to benefit you because you gotta understand what business is and what America is a capitalism system, meaning that you have to compete. If you open up a car dealership, you have to compete with other car dealerships. If you open up a hospital practice, you have to compete with other hospitals. If you become a rapper, you're competing with other rappers. You could become a singer, you're competing with other singers. You become an actor, you're competing with other actors for those roles, for position, for money, for status. You're always in a competition to the top. That's what America is. That's why it's called Babylon. That's why Mortal Kombat was made off of, pretty much the society. Every man is basically for themselves battling to get to the next level. That's what America is about. So when you understand those things, you understand when you get in business. One of the things I learned when I got in business was, hey, when I was going to like the big gigantic car auctions, I'll look around, I see the people in there, I see the buyers, the companies that was in there buying cars. And I look at them and what I look for is advantages. What advantages do they got? Okay, these ones, they stick more together and do things in a unit and they are more successful because that the Arabs do that. Okay, these ones, they got more money. These ones, they got more resources. So I'm trying to see the advantages because you got to learn those things so you could climb the ranks. And then reality hits you hard. And you say, damn, how could you compete when they got all the advantages? They got all the advantages on you. You gotta build a business from the ground up with your own money that you saved up. They could go to the bank and get, let's just say you start a business off 50, you save up 50,000 from work and you start a business off. That's a good start, 50K. They could go to the bank and get 500K, no interest. Who you think is gonna be more successful? If you got a car dealership, and a Jewish got a car dealership right down the street from you. You started yours with 50K working from the ground up. He go to the bank and get a $5 million. It could be 500,000. It could be $5 million business loan. Who you think gonna be more successful? Who you think gonna last longer? You living month to month. You got to sell a certain amount of units. You flipping that money. You building your way up, which I did, and we were very good at it. But he just got $5 million. That covers his bills for the next 2-3 years, and he still got over half of that to buy inventory. You got $50K. You had to pay for this, pay for that. You got half of that left to spend on inventory, $25K. With $25K, if you each car you buy is $5,000. You see what I'm saying? You got you went and got 5 cars on your lot to start with. He just got $5 million. He could go spend $1 million on inventory, and he got 50, 60 cars on his lot to your 5. But you got to compete with him because it's survival of the fittest when it comes to the system. Who you think gonna win? Who you think gonna be more successful? Who you think family's gonna be more successful? Who you think family's gonna benefit more? Right? Then it gets even deeper, right? If he fails and he jags off his money, see, it's just way more easier for him to be successful than the so-called black man. Now, if he fails, guess what? He got bailouts because he already such a big company. Now he got the government stepping in to bail him out, to help him, give him more money to bail him out and help him when he mishandles that money. For you on your own. If you fail, you just dead to go. You see the difference? Then it gets even deeper now. If I got 50K, I open up a business, I'm having a little bit more success. I don't really have that much money to go grab another little black boy out the hood, or another 2, 3, or an auntie, or a cousin, and have them come work at my business and put money in their pocket, and we grow this business together and make money together and feed them. I don't really have the money to do that, but guess what? They do. He just got a $5 million business loan from the bank with no interest. He got the money now to go hire his small head cousin, his small head auntie, his small head little niece that just turned 18 and she need a job, come work for the car dealership. That's opening up a stream of money to their community. They not going to take that money and then let me go get the little black boy out the hood. Let me go find Kadash or KD in the hood and give him a nice paying job and opportunity. No, they going to go get all they people and do it. You can't get none of your people because you ain't got that much. But then your people looking at you like, hey, when you going to come get us? You got this business. You made it farther than any one of us is. When are you going to come get us? Then here comes the crab in a barrel mentality because your heart is, I want to come get y'all. But it's not enough. I don't have enough to. I got 5 cars. I got 10 cars on my lot. I started this with 50K. I ain't got enough to come get y'all. This is just enough to support my family and our lifestyle. I don't have the extra to come get y'all. Now it starts a crab in a bucket mentality. Now they trying to tear you down, talking bad about you and all this and targeting you and stuff like that because you wanted them and you got here. They want to pull you back down in hopes of pulling themselves up. But these other people, they don't have this problem because they done went to the bank and got a $5 million SBA loan or some other type of loan behind the scenes with some folder he talking about behind the scenes, and they don't have to pay no interest or no down payment on that. So that they can come get everybody and everybody can love them and everybody actually works together to protect them and big them up because they got the bag. They holding the light at the top. Where you holding the light at the top, but you ain't got enough to share with everybody else. You're going to get eaten up. They going to want to fight and take your position. That's the difference. And that makes a big difference when you talking about business. You got to understand that this is the law. Deuteronomy 23, this is why they do it. So you can have some small hats that haven't they haven't been living out these benefits. They pretty much Americans, but their mom was Jewish, so they're basically Jewish, but they're pretty much Americans, and they haven't really been living this out. So they may be poor or just barely getting by. And they might be like, no, that's not all of us. You just talking about a couple bad business ones, a couple bad, just like they say with the transatlantic slave trade. Always a couple bad families that was funding the transatlantic slave trade ships. It was just a couple bad families. You can't paint that bush on all of us, right? But this is a law that governs all of you. Whether you believe in it or you like an atheist, but you by blood you're Jewish, but you're atheist, you don't really believe in God. Whether you believe or not, This law governs you because this is the law that they go by for all their people, which is what you call the Torah, right? Deuteronomy 23, verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother. Usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. This is the law, meaning you can't lend interest. So if the car costs 10,000, you can't go say, well, you got to pay 10,000 plus you got a 10% interest rate. And then now you got to pay the 10,000, but you got to pay the interest rate too, which is like a daily interest rate, or it could be a yearly interest rate. You pay an extra 10% every year until you pay that off. It depends on how loans are set up different ways, right? But watch this, verse 20. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thy hand to in the land, whether thou goes to possess it. So they came and they possessed it and they took it over, right? Through Hollywood, through entertainment. As a matter of fact, thinking about why you can't really speak about these things like that without getting shadow banned on like places like YouTube. Well, you know why? Because guess what? Who do you think is sitting on the board of YouTube, or the head, whether it be the president, the CEO, whatever you want to call it, the head, the leaders of YouTube? Who do you think they are? What do you think their nationality is today? Exactly. Bingo. Right? When you talk about credit scores, I did this. Go on my channel and you can find a video where we talked about Experian, Equifax. I went through Experian, Equifax. I went through all of them. It's one more, TransUnion. I went through every credit bureau, and I showed you the leaders in the head that sit on the board. It's multiple people, like 15 people that sit at the head. It's a corporation. And I showed you who these people is, and I looked these people up, and they got directors that's over it. They even got levels amongst the head. And I showed you their backgrounds and their nationalities. And you guess it. You can guess who it is. Jewish. You see what I'm saying? It's not black people, so-called black people sitting at the head of YouTube, the director at the head of YouTube, or the credit bureaus, or the banks. Why? So when you understand that, you understand that you can't compete in this game. This is their game. They own it. You have to leave it and go do your own thing. And that's going to require you to give up the luxuries of America. But nobody wants to do that. That requires you to start over from where they started from after the Dark Ages. You got to go back into we in the Dark Ages for our people right now. And you got to go back to nothing and build up. And you may not see it in your lifetime or your kid's lifetime, but it may be whatever you build may be great 10 generations down. If you could preserve the things the way they preserve those things, like this law. So this is what you have going on. You won't know because you're not going to be there when somebody goes into a bank and they pull them into a room and then they bring out a folder and then they accept them. But this is what goes down though. You know what I mean? This is what happens when you go into that bank. You got an 800 credit score. A small hat or a white person goes into a bank. They got an 800 credit score. You got very similar credit histories, meaning with time and inquiries and accounts and all that, right? And y'all in the same field of business. And let's just say y'all whole entire profile is very similar. And you get denied and they get approved. And guess what? That's not a small thing. That makes a big difference. Because when you go in there and you sit in front of that bank and you're trying to get a $500,000 SBA loan, whether you get denied, whether those words come back, denied or approved, makes a big difference on your future and your kids' future. You get $500K. What does that $500K look like after 10 years? That $500K then turned to $5 million. Shit, today shit moving so fast, you could turn $500K to $50 million in 10 years compared to the dude that got denied. Now, what happens to his business? Business gets slower. The economy gets slower. Gets to a point where he's just hanging on. Gets to a point where he can't hang on no more. And he got to close down and move to something else. So one person got this starter money that took them to being a multi-millionaire, and the other person got denied and he had to start over in something different. That's the big difference. But this law, Deuteronomy 23, is actually for the true Israelites, which are the blacks and browns, blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. So technically, we supposed to be following this law, this usury law. But we don't have the resources to do it. We don't have the money, the resources to do it. And the ones of us that do now I want you to understand this, because this is what people gonna say. Well, no, that's not true. There's a lot of black millionaires. But guess what? That money don't belong to them. That money belongs to, remember, I just did a video about the American system, who the money actually belongs to. Jay-Z $1 billion is not Jay-Z's $1 billion. He's given permission to use $1 billion of American money, but it does not belong to him. It belongs to the rich banker families that owns these banks, that own the central bank, that owns the treasury, that owns the federal banks, the ones that own the money, that own the country. There is owners. America is a corporation. There is owners to it, man. There's families that own it. So, yeah, we got billionaire black people, but it's not their money, really. So are they really billionaires? No, you really a billionaire if you got your own country, your own currency, your own money that you own. You just being allowed to use their money. We see this example happen with Kanye. He was worth $6 billion. He said some things about these same people that we're having this conversation about, which is crazy. Which, how ironic is that? And then he went to being worth $600 million. They could take what they want to take, man. And then banks and stuff started to shut him out and say they wouldn't hold his money no more. They making money off his money, but it was to the point where they said, if it's just about business and making money off his money, then who cares what he said? He got freedom of speech. Yeah, but you could be punished too. So why are they saying, no, hell no, we don't even want to hold your money? People say stuff about black people all the time. And guess what? Do they get debanked? People say, how many times have we seen billionaires of NBA teams say something bad about black people? Or like even Donald Trump say something bad about black people or Latino people. Has Donald Trump got debanked? Have banks started saying, oh, you came out, you said something bad about black people. Donald Trump, we're not going to hold your money no more. You see the difference? This is facts that we speaking. You see the difference? So we can't do it under their system, which is the same thing in the understanding I came into with the truth. You want to follow the law of Moses, but you're still under the law of America. You can't do it. You can do what you can. Well, that's why we say to the best of your abilities, but fully you can't do it. You see what I'm saying? You have to have your own land, your own laws, your own. This is why they killed what's the guy named Gaddafi. They had to get him out of there. He was too dangerous. He might have been one of the most dangerous threats to America, and they had to get him out of there. In the BP party here in America, Chicago, they had to get them out. Fred Hampton, they had to get them out of there because they was one of the biggest threats to America too. Because what? They were fighting against the capitalism system. They were fighting against that way of life. Our people so stuck into thinking that's the only way of life on earth, but it's not. You can't run to the Arabs. They'll convert you to being a Muslim, to being under them, one of their followers. But are they going to share resources with you? And that's what I always say. If you love me so much and you want me to follow your religion so much, are you going to share resources? That's how you show somebody you love them. That's how men show other men that we love each other, is by sharing our resources. That's how a man shows a woman that he loves her, by sharing his resources with her. If a man is a multimillionaire and this is just some game for the women. If he a multi-millionaire, but he's saying he love you all day, but he ain't sharing none of his resources, none of his protection, none of his he not letting you come to his house, he not letting you drive none of his cars, he not paying no bills, he not giving you no money on nothing, any of his connections to help you in anything you need. If he's not sharing none of his resources, he don't really love you. And if you got a friend and he not sharing none of his resources, then same thing, man. So I'm just giving you some game on things, right? But this law right here is in the Bible. Now we just see that maybe a day ago, an inmate was beaten to death. I put that on my channel. By who? By Esau. And it's crazy because it symbolized when the white man was standing around them beating them, they had American flags on their jackets. And it reminds me of looking back into the history during slavery, where we were being enslaved by a certain type of people, and they were coming in the name of Christianity. They were coming in the name of Jesus. They were coming in boats that was named one was called the White Tiger or something like that. Something like that. You have to correct me on it, but I think one was called Jesus or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So it reminded me their religion, right? So how can you call on their name? But that's a different story, right? And they empowered America, and when they was beating on him and they had those American flags showing on their jackets, I said, look, that symbolized the reality for the black man, the so-called the Jew in America. That symbolized the reality for Judah in America, for the black man in America. Now, yeah, the rest of the tribes too have to go through that, but not like the black man, not like Judah. That symbolized Judah's reality in America. Sad. We beaten down spiritually, mentally, physically. Now imagine you being a so-called black man, a Judite, and you want to get into this system of America and politics, and you want to join the police force, and you want to work. Man, it's just not, it's not for us. Trust me, I was one of the brightest, bro. Trust me. When it comes to the economy and putting together a business and being focused, and bro, I was one of the brightest from where I come from. And I'm telling you, it's not for us, man. It's not for us. This is not for us. And it goes back to this is a punishment for us, man. And we only got one way out, and that's through the Father. That's through our Lord. Right? Through Yahushua to the Father. You know what I mean? Through our Lord. That's the only way that we gonna get out of this. And that's the only way that we should be seeking, because nothing else is just, it's not for us, man. Because what they did to that brother was, I mean, his hands was cuffed behind his back. I don't give no fuck what he did. I don't care if it was Big H. I don't care if it was whoever it was. It don't matter what he did. At the point of the time when his hands were behind his back cuffed, it's over with. They just welling away on him, breaking his spinal cord, kicking him, punching him, choking him. And then it's 10 of them in there doing it. For, it looked like damn near an hour straight. Why his hands are behind his back, but this is how they are. They only got the advantage. They only feel strong and bad when they got the advantage. Take one of them, put them in a room, just him, just them. They gonna fight. Esau's still gonna fight, but he ain't got that much courage now. When it's 10 of them and your hands are cuffed, they're cowards. They only really want to do something when they have the advantage. I seen that growing up as a little boy in school. We used to I used to do wrestling. I did sports. And I see how the Edomites would act. Edomites are smart. I give them that. They're smart. They are more courageous when they have the advantage over you. Same thing goes back to when the U.S. Army came over here versus the Native Americans. When they have the advantage, they are courageous. When they don't have the advantage, they're cowards. I used to do wrestling. They had, it was an Edomite. I think he was the coach. The coach was an Edomite, and he was like the coach favorite. They might have been related or something, or he might have knew his family or something. But the Edomite, he was clearly like the coach's favorite. But I was new to, I was just signing up that year, so I just started. And this little Edomite, he was like one of the best ones. Like, so they had it split up. They had the newbies, right? And then they took the ones that was there for a long time that was really good. They took them to another room. They were able to practice together. And now all the newbies had to practice together, but they had still some ones that was really good. So out of that group that we used, I ain't saying he was the best in the school, but he was the best out of the newbies group and, the younger guys group. he was the best out of that group. And coach, he had put me up against him. Now, they hate this, but it's like, we grew up wrestling. So I grew up wrestling my cousin. That's what that's how black people grew up. We grew up slap boxing, we grew up fighting, we grew up wrestling. So that's all. When my cousins used to come over, my brothers, our friends, that's all we used to do, just wrestle each other. And it didn't matter. We didn't have weight classes. So like I was smaller, but I'd be going up against my cousin that's twice the size of me. We just wrestling, trying to see just all day. That's what we doing, figuring out wrestling, doing moves, and woo out the bam. So when I started wrestling, I already had skills. And that's what they hate about us, is our God-given abilities. They like, damn, these motherfuckers is just special. And they hate that about us, right? Unless they could make money like off LeBron. They could make money off of him, off a basketball player, NBA player. Then they love you because you're making them all this money. But you're never going to be an owner or a full owner like Jay-Z, partial owner, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, partial owner. But you're never going to be a full owner, or you're never going to own the league, right? So they put me up against him. Man, I was flipping his ass. And he was the best. He was coach favorite. And I was flipping him, slamming him, moving him around. And they just couldn't believe it. This amateur that just walked in here, that's just started. And this guy's been studying. He's been training. He's one of the best. He's a part of a young group, but he's still one of the best. We got big hopes on him doing big things for the school this year and winning in his class. It's classes. There's bigger levels. There's better levels. Don't get me wrong, but out of that level we was on, he was the best at that level. And they had big hopes in him. And then I come in off the street and just get to flipping him around. Now, coach didn't realize that and say, oh shit, we just found a diamond in the dirt. What's your name? Your name's KD. Hey, look, keep coming. I'm gonna train you. Man, you just took our best guy and you have no experience and you just did that easily. Look, I got my eye on him. He's going to be special. He ain't want to do that because he ain't want to hurt that boy's feelings. And you could see the look on that boy's face. Like when I was flipping him, you could almost see like the tears that was about to come down. Without the tears coming down, but they was coming down spiritually. You could see it, the emotions. He couldn't believe it. You could tell his head was hyped up of, you good, you the best, giving him that reassurance, that confidence that they don't give us. And then when that reality came to pass, that, wait, you ain't shit, really, it hurt his soul. And coach tried to, consult him. It's okay, pat on the back, it's good, it's okay. Coach was trying to cheat while we was wrestling. I had to, because you got to pin him down to the ground for like a certain amount of time. Coach was going really slow on the time so he could give him time to get up. You could hear them bass because they was watching us. You will watch. So you could hear them bass, especially with him. It was other people wrestling too, like in other circles, maybe 3-4 circles that everybody else was watching. But you could tell everybody's attention was on him. And then, coach was just giving him more time. You could hear people cheering him. Whatever his name was, they were saying his name. Come on. Like against me. I'm like, damn, boy, I'm born here, raised here. Been at this school. Come on. Going for him and shit. And I flip him, I beat him. It was just like, okay. Okay. And there's a lot of stories, and that happened to a lot of people. It happens to a lot more people. But guess what? That same thing is going to happen when the Lord gives us that power. The same thing gonna happen on a bigger scale, where Esau, he's been prepped up. The world been telling him he's the superpower. He's the strongest military. He got everybody wanting to be allies with him. He got drones. He got secret UFOs. He got fighter jets. He got nukes. And when the Lord gives us that power and we kick their ass, they gonna have that same look on their face. Damn, we ain't shit. Exactly, and that time's coming. You see what I'm saying? But they want to say in that Christianity bullshit, oh, the Lord is for everybody. But go look how the blacks are being treated. Oh, we supposed to love everybody. Everybody can be saved. We supposed to invite everybody in. But look how they treating us. Look how they doing us. But we become a hate group. We got hate in our heart. We wicked because we expose the things that's happening. But imagine, tell me the last time you seen a group Give me 10, 15 black cops. Give me 10, 15 black cops in a group, in a room with a white man, a younger white man, or a middle-aged white man with handcuffs behind his back, and they sit there and they beat him to death. Tell me the last time that happened. Recently, in the last year, show me that happening. I know there was an event where there was some black cops, I think, that did something to a black man with the win, but that's just black on black. Who cares? That's how people treat it. But we went through a transatlantic slave trade. Where are the Christians that's around saying, hey, these people need to be confiscated? What it was called? It was called, I forgot the word. Where they give a people group something for something that they went through. Reparations. These people need to get these people reparations for. Where's the Christians groups out there that's saying that? Hey, these people were promised land. However much that land is, you need to give that land to these people. Or you need to let these people free and let them go start their own government and assist them in doing it. Did they assist the small hats, the 49ers or whatever, or 19, whenever they got over there? Didn't they assist them in getting land and get money, and they give them billions of dollars to this day? You need to do this for the so-called black people because we're Christians and that's what's right. Because things were stolen from them, took it from them, and they were never made right. When are those things going to happen? No, they just tell you, hey, just wait. Just keep waiting. Don't look for it back. Don't look for it. Don't leave. Don't do anything that's going to hurt America. Not even offensively. Even defensively. Don't do anything. Just keep waiting. Just keep waiting. Keep waiting. And our people get stuck in that too. And they just want to keep waiting, keep waiting. And that's why I've been telling you, guys, the spirit changed on me. The spirit, I ain't gonna say it changed, but yeah, it changed. But some will say, oh, everybody believe that they got the right spirit. But the spirit revealed some things to me, and reading the Bible. It's not for us just to keep waiting, keep waiting. That's what they want you to do. That's the illusion. It's for us to come together. The Lord waiting on us. And the example of what we need to do is in the book of Exodus. We need to come together and go into the wilderness. That's not the flee America doctrine. It could be simply the wilderness in America. But we need to come together and do our own thing, man. But they don't want you to. They want you to stay in their cities where they got a church on every corner, or they got a camp now on every corner, and stay in those cities where they can oppress you, where they can watch you, where they can infiltrate you, where they can control you, where they can divide you and conquer you. Stay on YouTube that's owned by them, that they can censor you, take videos down, send agents and psyops and shit on YouTube channels to constantly contend with each other for a divide and conquer tactic. That's what they want you to do, and that's where our people is at. So y'all gotta wake the fuck up with that and say salvation to you, like, show.